Hi, today we're going to do a little walkthrough of Scheduler powered by VipeCloud. So first of all, how do you get to Scheduler within VipeCloud? So for this one today, when we're setting up a scheduler, you're going to want to be on the website. So you can go to app.vipecloud.com to log into your VipeCloud account. From there on the left-hand side, you're going to want to click the lightning bolt icon, and then you'll see Scheduler down here under lead capture. Once you're on the scheduler, if you've already connected your account and already created some, you'll definitely see some within here. If it's brand new to you, you're going to want to click this green Create Scheduler over here on the right-hand side, sorry. Now, I do have one note. Step one is going to be to do this calendar integration. So if you have not connected a calendar yet, be sure to pause this video, go watch our video on how to do the calendar integration, and then come back to do this video moving forward once you have that calendar connected. You'll know it's connected if you see it says like Google Active, Microsoft Active, etc. If it has a connect with Microsoft or a connect with Google button here, then you're not connected yet. So now back to our scheduler, we're going to click this green Create Scheduler button, and it's going to give us two options. One is individual and one is group. Now, an individual means that I like to think of it like a hostess. You have one hostess at this event, okay? Maybe you're doing a one-on-one facial scheduler, maybe it's for parties, etc., but you just have one hostess per appointment. Now, a group is where you could have multiple hostesses. Think of these as like a beauty bar or a pop-up or an open house where you want people to kind of let you know when they're coming or book their time. Maybe you have specific times for your pop-ups for them to come in, but you could have multiple people book at that time, multiple hostesses, okay? For this example, we're gonna go ahead and do individual. So click that. It's going to open up this little sidebar, and here's where we're going to put our event name. For this one, we're going to do a beauty bar for this scheduler, but you can name it whatever your name is. And do note that your event name, your people who are individuals who are booking on that scheduler, they will be able to see this name. Now down below is a label for your internal reference. So if you wanted to put something here, maybe this beauty bar is at a specific location, or any internal reference that you want to be able to see, but is not visible to the public. Okay, then we have our scheduler URL where you can customize this. Now VipeCloud's automatically going to put one in here for you, but you could also change it, right? So I'm going to take out PinkSuccess. I'm going to put in beauty bar. Here, you could leave the numbers. You can try to remove them. VipeCloud will let you know if it's already taken, and you won't be able to use that. I'm going to leave the numbers in here just for this example. Next, you're going to want to select your connected calendar. Now, this calendar is where the appointment is going to be put in, right? So you can select that. You want to make sure to change it from the VipeCloud calendar and to pick a different calendar, okay? So for this one, we'll just pick one of our Google ones. Once you've selected your calendar, then you can also notice down here, click additional calendars to check. So when an appointment is booked, it's going to add an appointment to my Google Calendar here. However, maybe I have a personal or a family calendar that I want it to check for conflicts for, right? But I don't want it to add the appointment to that one. This is where the additional calendars would come in. And so you can come and click here, and you could select a different calendar for it to check for conflicts, okay? Now next is you're choosing, is this a virtual appointment? If it is, you could add the Google Meet or the Zoom right here. If it's an in-person appointment, you can go ahead and do none. So for this one, if you were to click Zoom, you would want to put in the URL right here in the personal meeting URL. And then this will automatically put into the emails that go out when the appointment has been confirmed. For this one, we're going to pretend it's an in-person and do none. Description. Now this description box is currently being put into the email notification that goes out when they book the appointment. So what you write in here, you want to write as if they've already booked the appointment, because that's when they're going to be seeing this, right? So you could say, so excited to see you at the beauty bar event, right? If you had details that you wanted them to know about, things that maybe they needed to bring, or, you know, bring a friend. You can also put a link in here if you wanted to a pre-profile, right? So you could put that there. So whatever you would like them to get description-wise in the email, that's where you're putting here. Now we're going to go ahead and click create and continue editing. And that's going to open up some more options for us here. Now, once you're done and have clicked that, it automatically takes you to scheduling. And before we hop into the scheduling, let's click over here on details. I want to make sure to mention that you do select how long your appointment is. Okay, so the duration of your appointment is set at 15 minutes automatically, but you can come here and change that to be 30, 45, 60, or you can customize that duration of the event. Okay, this is where you select your time frame, your availability for this particular scheduler. Okay, so let's say maybe you're not available on Mondays at all. You can just come and simply click the M. When it's unhighlighted, right, and white, then that means, and these boxes are grayed out, that means there's no availability that day. Okay, so you could take out a whole day. The other thing that you could do is maybe on Tuesdays you're available from 9 to noon, but then you're not available again until 3 to 5. You can add a break now. So we can click this break and we could put in 12 o'clock. It already put it in there for us, and we could change this to 3. And now it's not going to allow any appointments to be booked on Tuesday in between the time frame of 12 and 3. So it's giving me a little break there. All right. You could also add another break. So if maybe this appointment went until 7 p.m. and we're available from 3 to 5, but we're not available from 5 to 6, you can add a second break. All right. So you can really put in the time frames that you want to be available. The other thing is up here at the top, you can select how many days in the future people can book. Maybe it's a month out, maybe it's only 2 weeks out, maybe it's 2 months out. So you can select how far in advance do you want people to be able to book with you. The other neat part is maybe you're doing this for an open house or a pop-up that's only over for a specific amount of days, over a weekend. You can select a date range. And so you could say, hey, I've got an appointment coming up on June 19th and the 20th. You're doing a pop-up event on those 2 days. And then when you have your Thursdays and Fridays, when you go and view your calendar, which up at the top here, there's a view booking page. When it pulls up, we'll see that there will only show a spot available right now for the 19th because we put the 19th and the 20th. But when we look at our schedule, we had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays as available. It's only pulling that Friday the 19th on the calendar because we said we were only available these 2 days. And currently, Saturday was not an availability. So hopefully that makes sense. You can also come back up here, though, and say, I actually want it to be 30 days in the future. And it automatically saves. And so now if we come and we refresh this, we'll see that all of our availability is in there. Okay, so a little bit about how far in advance we're selecting the days. Then we have a couple other things that we can select. Buffer time. If you're doing a virtual appointment, I really recommend having a buffer time of at least 15 minutes. That way it gives you a little bit of time if the appointment goes over, etc. So I like to do a before 15 and an after for 15 minutes on my appointments. Maybe though this is an in-person appointment and so your buffer, you need to account for travel time. Maybe you want an hour buffer in between your times before or after. You could do those. You can also do minimum notice. So for these ones, we'll just set it as 15. Minimum notice. How quickly can people book with you? Can they book within 1 hour? Maybe it's 1 day. Maybe it's 3 days. You can come and select how quickly can they see an appointment and be able to book it, right? Could they book an appointment tomorrow with you and you be able to be ready for that? That's your minimum notice. Custom start increments I really like as well. You'll notice if we come here to the calendar, you'll see that we've got these different time frames that are available, right? 3, 3:15, 3:30, 3:45 for those appointments that we've got for a time frame. But if we do a custom start increment of 30 minutes, then when we come and refresh on our beauty bar, we'll now see we've got a 3, 3:30, 4, and a 4:30. Okay. We'll also see that because we said we needed 1 day's minimum notice, if you'll notice, Thursday is no longer available for us because it's not within the 1 day time frame that we need availability. Okay. You can choose a daily limit. Maybe you have time blocks open for like 6 appointments that are an hour long. You could change that and say, I can only do 2 appointments a day. All right. I recommend leaving the time zone display as the invitee's time zone. I recommend leaving the time zone display as the use invitee's time zone, especially if you're booking appointments maybe with people who don't live really close to you, it might be in a different time zone. That way when she comes and books, it'll automatically adjust to her time zone. So that's a great feature to leave on. And if they're in your area, then that's perfectly fine because it'll automatically be their time zone as well. Next thing, so we're kind of done with scheduling here. Now we have some form details. Now the form details do come standard with first name, last name, email, and mobile phone. We recommend that you leave all of 4 of these items here. However, you could add an additional question if you would like. We recommend only 1 to 2 additional questions on this form because you want them to book the appointment, not doing like a whole pre-profile on this form because you can end up losing them and not having them book. But if you wanted to add some things, you could do create field form right here, and you can do a like pick list. Drop downs are great. Text if you want them to write something. So for example, with a pick list, if we choose that, we could type in here and we could say, do you currently have a beauty consultant? And then we could add options. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Or we could even say, you're a consultant, right? Because maybe they're already your customer. So you could add some options here for these. This is just an example. We can click save. And then again, it automatically saves. If we come here and refresh our scheduler, we could come and act like we're going to do an appointment and we'll see that pick list right here. So they get to select no, yes, etc. So this one's a check mark one where they're selecting that. The other options are a drop down. This comes in like a drop down box where they're selecting them. Text, they just type in the text. So different options here for you to be able to add for them. The other thing, so that's kind of the form fields. Again, we recommend 1 to 2 additional questions and no more than that. It's kind of our recommendation for your scheduler. Form details is where you can kind of customize it a little bit. You'll notice here we've got our schedule button. We can change that to be a different color if you want, maybe a more Mary Kay friendly color. You could change instead of it to say schedule, say, book now, different things like that. For these pages, you'll notice there's a little button here that says save. You want to click that save button. Okay. For these ones, you do have to save it. It doesn't auto save. Now you can just change the message for the display. So you could say thank you. You can actually have it redirect to a new page or send them a link, right? So that way they can fill out that pre-profile, etc. So a little bit of what comes after the appointment has been booked is here. And then if we scroll up, we've got admin. Maybe you have an assistant. You want her to get these alerts when somebody books an appointment so she can kind of get your things together, or maybe you're working with a power partner at the beauty bar on this and you want them to be able to see these as well. You can choose to send to a contact the alerts when people book an appointment by clicking here and choosing that contact. Otherwise, if this is selected, you will get a notification anytime somebody books an appointment with you. The other thing that's nice is you can choose to have these signups go into a specific contact list. This is great, again, if you're doing some type of event with multiple people booking, you can have it all go into one contact list, and then you could send notifications about the event to everybody who's already booked the time slot there. Okay, so some nice, easy admin options. Automations are where we have our emails. So we've got an email template that's automatically added that's going to go out right after the appointment has been booked. And then we have another one that's going to go out with a 1-hour reminder. Now, if you have a texting service with us, you can create the automation where it will send a text message to them when they have booked an appointment. And you can choose a template. You want to make sure to create that template first. And then you can also do the same thing. You can do a create meeting automation where you're choosing to send them a text message and you can choose to do that like 1 hour before the appointment. Maybe you want it a day before the appointment if it's in person, or a couple hours before the appointment, so you can have those set up there. And then finally, participants. This is where you'll see once you've sent out that scheduler and people have booked appointments, you'll be able to come and see all of their info right here. So I hope this is helpful, a little bit of an overview when it comes to our scheduler. Once you're done, you can always click anytime this view booking page to be able to open it up and see what it's like, book an appointment, check your automations. I always like to book an appointment myself and make sure everything is flowing like I want it to be. You can also click the copy booking link right here, and this is how you could send it out to ones, is by copying that booking link. And then last thing I want to show is just when you go to create this scheduler, if you are to choose group, everything in here is the same, except for within this, we've got group size. Okay, and this is where you're choosing how many people do you want to come per time slot. Do you want it to be 10 people are coming per time slot? How big is that group size? Okay, so you can go ahead and add that. All right, so I hope this is really helpful. Please let us know if you have any questions or anything. We're excited for you to use Scheduler. We hope you love it. Thanks so much.